Sorry about that, guys. I'm sitting there doing all this damn talking and I'm muted. Hey, see that doing all this damn talking and I'm muted. I think you guys can hear me now. I'm pretty sure you can hear me now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can hear me now. Yeah. I had it on mute. I didn't realize it. I got this roadcaster, right? So what happens is when I go live, if I don't check the StreamYard, which is what I stream through, to make sure that the sounds are coming through the soundboard, the roadcaster, then that's why it's muted. I didn't make sure. That was my fault. Anyway, about what I was saying, everything's been very, very hectic. I think I have a schedule that I want to do. I don't want to do Tuesday nights. I think I want to do Thursday nights. Today Tuesday or Wednesday? What is the day? Oh, the day's Tuesday. Is the day Tuesday, guys? Damn, yeah, the day Tuesday. Damn, boy. Hey, you get what I'm saying? Bro, let me tell you something. When you got to losing track of days, you ought to know what time it is. I'm losing track of days and every goddamn thing. Anyways, let's get into the show. Now, I've been wanting to talk about this topic for a few days now. Shout out to our man. Shout out to my sister, Arlette. Shout out to Arlette. Doggone Arlette. Yeah, Arlette, you're right about that. So you should be more consistent with it, like twice a week. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Thursday nights. Tuesday nights and Thursday nights. I think that's what I do. Because we went live last week, so I think I'm gonna do Tuesday nights and Thursday nights. I know the weekend is going to be hectic. The weekend is definitely going to be hectic for me, everybody. So yeah, Tuesday nights and Thursday nights. So we will be live again Thursday nights. So definitely that. You're right about that. All that. You're there right on the head. Shout out to Big Blunts in boxing. Salute to you, fam. Shout out to Little Green Eyes P. I know it's late over there in the UK. It's late over there. It's what? It's 1 o'clock in the morning in the UK. 1 o'clock. It is what it is. Let's get into the show now. It's amazing. I have, as a matter of fact, I don't have to do that. I have some books you guys can go buy. I'm not even going to get up. And these books was written by Africans. And because I don't want no one to say, oh man, if they ain't know about race, we don't want to believe it. We don't want to yada, yada, yada. No, it was written by Africans. And then, of course, what goes on in America with a lot of these race hustlers, if you say something that doesn't support their narrative, then they'll just dismiss you as being a coon or a time, whatever the case may be. Just very dismissive. And this is what they do, right? Anything that doesn't push the narrative, they'll dismiss it. But I'm going somewhere with this today. All black people are our own worst enemy. Is tribalism destroying Black America? Where am I going at with this? I'm going to tell you. And I think that when I see what's going on in Black America, I say Black America. I can't speak for anyone that's not a Black American. I'm speaking specifically for Black American. I don't represent all Black Americans, but I'm just saying what I see. What I see on the mainstream media, what I see that's being portrayed when I talk to people, yada yada, people who have certain ideological thoughts, see things a certain way, political spectrum as well, yada 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 yada. So I say all that to say this. I'm gonna give you guys a list of books to buy. You gotta believe nothing I say. I'm gonna give you a list of books to buy, right? It seems that every option Black Americans have, it seems like we're always looking, especially in America, for a leader, a savior, or something like that. When I watch mainstream media, they're like no intelligent society has entertainers, whether it's comedians, whether it's sports figures, whether it's actors, as leaders and representatives of the Black community as a whole from a leadership standpoint. No other community in the world. Y'all need a leader. LeBron said this. Serena Williams said that. Those are tennis players and basketball players. There's nothing leaders about them. Yeah, they're leading the basketball team and they're leading the tennis court. Well, comedian such and such said that. It's like when you watch the mainstream media, like influencers, right? They always try to lead you to influencers. An influencer is someone that, that pretty much their job is to try to influence you to get you to buy products for the most part. Kim Kardashian would be looked upon as an influencer. When people see Kim Kardashian putting on certain kind of makeup or whatever, oh my gosh, we got to get that what Kim Kardashian has. Or forget Kim Kardashian. I don't want to offend black women. Let's say which black woman, what's a black influencer on YouTube? A black influencer in acting that black women may look up to. They may look up to Beyonce, the Beehive. They may be a part of the Beehive. Yeah, Beyonce did this, and we're gonna yada 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 yada. We're like a chicken with a head cut off, right? And I always talk hard about race hustlers because race hustlers, they have a way of tapping into your emotions, and they know most people make decisions based on how they feel, their emotions, right? Very few people look at things from an analytical standpoint, break it down, and just really look at it, right? But if we are our own worst enemy, black Americans, if this is the case, what role do we play in our condition as it relates to our communities? As it relates to our women being alone or our men being alone? As it relates to our children growing up in single family households, whether it's the mother or the father, or just, the way things are now, everything's on phones, everything's on the internet, a lot of times our children, they may come up a certain way and, they have several different influences that may influence them to do certain things. Influencers. An influencer can be a friend. If your child is growing up, you may be like, oh man, I was teaching my child this, but as soon as they got to high school, they started hanging around with the wrong crowd and, they wasn't listening to me anymore. That means that the people in school, their friends, are their influencers. Are the influencers. What I notice about white America, they always try to push on black Americans who should be our leaders. This is who you should follow. There's no one telling the Hispanic community this is who you should follow. There's no one telling the white community this is who you should follow, right? Or the Asian community. It's always the black American. So question I have is this. Are blacks our own worst enemy? I'm going to tell you where I'm going at with this. I was watching this show, and I don't watch mainstream media. I hate CNN with a passion. It's the Democrat propaganda machine. Don't like Fox. I don't like mainstream media at all, right? Because I'm a very, very sharp individual. I understand certain talking points, and I know that corporate media is government ran. Corporate media in America is controlled by the government. The FBI is in conjunction. Social media platforms are in conjunction with the FBI and the Department of Justice. They watch everything on the internet. They control the narrative. This is why you see certain content creators that get kicked off who believe certain things that goes against the populace or goes against the progressive movement that's going on in America today. I'm not a progressive. So this is what's going on. So this is why you see certain people being deplatformed and yada, yada, yada. But where am I going at with this? I was looking at this this video about this movie that came out about, what is it called, guys? With I forgot the sister name. The Woman King, right? With Viola Davis. And I'm very familiar with this tribe in this movie. Yeah, man, the Woman King, and this is black girl magic. This black girl magic bullshit. Black girl magic is just another black girl magic is another way, another version of feminism. Feminism came from the white women in America, and it's feminism, progressivism now, whatever. A lot of this stuff going on. A lot of these things going on in America you know, men are women and women are men, right? They're progressive, right? It is what it is, right? So this political party that's in power now is pushing it heavy. They control all three branches of the government. That's what's going on, right? And they are overwhelmingly teaching blacks in America, you're victims, this, that, you know, follow your entertainers for leaders, yada, 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 blah, this, quasi. But I'm very familiar with this tribe. So, you know, Hollywood always take it, and two white women wrote this movie, right? But it was some truth in this movie. It was some truth in this movie. It was some truth. Shout out to Knockdown 305. Shout out to Teach. Shout out to Big Blunts. Shout out to Thomas Jones. There was some truth in this movie. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Let's listen to this. Don Lemon thought he had a Black Lives Matter white guilt moment, right? We're going to let these white people feel guilty and this and that, yada, 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 yada. Oh, Lord have mercy. I want to look at this, right? Hold on. And I don't know if you guys saw this clip on CNN. I know a lot of black people love CNN. I know they love CNN. They trust CNN. Hold on. Let's do this. Let's go ahead. Hold on, guys. Let me do this. They're talking about the Queen of England. Oh, well, the Queen was a colonizer. She raped several different African countries and pillaged them and took this and took that. That's true. That is true. They did do those things. That's true. White America is evil and systemically racist, and they oppress us, and slavery and this and that, and yada, 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 yada. Now, me being the smart man that I am, and I've done my own research, and I have several books. I want to recommend some books that you can get for yourself that was written by black people. Why that was important, black Africans on top of that, Africans. This is very important because I know black Americans. Black Americans are perpetual victims, and there's no accountability, and they're always looking for a reason to deny any truth that does not fit their narrative that they've been programmed to believe. You can go to Amazon and look these books up. One book is called A History of Indigenous Slavery in Ghana. I have all of these books. Another book is called Slavery and Slaving in African History. No, blacks love to talk about slavery and what white folks did to them. Fine. Another book is called Black Slave Owners. This book was written by Larry Koger. I'm going to drop the list of books so you can go get yourself. Written by black Africans. There's another book I told you the book called Slavery and Slaving in African History. This book is written by Sean Stilwell. This now hasn't been written by African, that book there. There's a book that's called Indigenous Slavery in Ghana. This book is written by a guy by the name of Okosua Odama Purby or whatever. And I'm gonna sing the other ones as well. I'm gonna put the list in there. Please remind me before I forget. Buy these books, look at them, do your own research. Listen to this, guys. Listen to this. What is this? What the hell, Coach? What the hell are you talking about? What this got to do with blacks being our own worst enemy? I'm gonna show you something.
And so on. And then
you're a big.
Well, this is coming when, you know, there's all of this wealth and you hear about it comes as England is facing rising costs of living, a living crisis, austerity budget cuts, and so on. And then you have those who are asking for reparations for colonialism, and they're wondering, you know, $100 billion, $24 billion here and there, 500 million there. Some people want to be paid back, and members of the public are wondering, why are we suffering when you are, you know, you have all of this vast wealth? Those are legitimate concerns.
Well, I think you're right about reparations in terms of if people want it, though, what they need to do is you always need to go back to the beginning of a supply chain. Where was the beginning of the supply chain? That was in Africa. And across the entire world, when slavery was taking place, which was the first nation in the world that abolished slavery? The first nation in the world to abolish it. It was started by William Wilberforce, was the British. In Great Britain, they abolished slavery. 2,000 naval men died on the high seas trying to stop slavery. Why? Because the African kings were rounding up their own people. They had them on cages waiting in the beaches. No one was running into Africa to get them. And I think you're totally right. If reparations need to be paid, we need to go right back to the beginning of that supply chain and say, who was rounding up their own people and having them handcuffed in cages? Absolutely. That's where they should start. And maybe, I don't know, the descendants of those families where they died in the high seas trying to stop the slavery, that those families should receive something too, I think, at the same time.
It's an interesting discussion.
I want you to see the look. I want you to see the look on Don Lemon's face. I want you to see the look on Don Lemon's face. I'm going to play it from here. Oh, the look on his face, because I'm gonna tell you something. Black people are saying, because it's a white woman, she's racist, yada, 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 blah, this, quality. And we don't, no, not gonna play the race card today. What does this have to do with the subject matter? Blacks have always been our worst enemy. I have the books, John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben, especially John Henry Clark. But the books that I'm going to drop in the link to drop today, these books are heavy. Some of these books was written by Africans. All of the books was written by blacks. Blacks have always been our own worst enemy. You see it going on today in our neighborhoods. I've been hearing, and remember, I used to be on that other side. I used to think the same thing. Blame everything on Whitey. Whitey did this. Oh, they putting guns in the community. Oh, they throwing the drugs in there. Oh, they went to Africa and kidnapped us. That was the biggest lie ever told. Ain't nobody kidnapped. Ain't no white folks jump off no boats and kidnapped us in Africa. You know who kidnapped us in Africa? Black people. I know they're going to say, oh, you a coon. You talking white supremacist talking points. Say what you want to say. I have the documentation. We have always sold each other out. We have always sold our women out. We have always sold our children out. And we have always sold our men out. I read a lot of books, dog. I got another book I'm going to start reading now. I learned a lot when I was in the Nation of Islam. I didn't learn none of this stuff in the Nation. What happened was I learned a lot in the Nation, but me being in the Nation, I figured out how to study other things. I found out about John Henry Clark through Malcolm X. I found out about just a lot of different scholars. And then I have a friend of mine. This guy's very, very smart, really, really bright guy. He was in the Nation with me as well. But he started branching out, and he led me down a whole lot of different paths. And I done my own research. And I tie everything in today in 2022. Tie everything today in 2022. But I want you to see Don Lemon's face. This shit is hilarious. Don Lemon thought he had one, right? He had no idea what he was getting into with this. Well, he had no idea what he was getting into with this woman, right? He wasn't expecting her to say what she said.
Well, this is coming when, you know, there's all of this wealth, and you hear about it comes as England is facing rising costs of living, a living crisis, austerity budget cuts, and so on. And then you have those who are asking for reparations for colonialism, and they're wondering, you know, $100 billion, $24 billion here and there, 500 million there. Some people want to be paid back, and members of the public are wondering, why are we suffering when you are, you know, you have all of this vast wealth? Those are legitimate concerns.
Well, I think you're right about reparations in terms of if people want it, though, what they need to do is you always need to go back to the beginning of a supply chain. Where was the beginning of the supply chain? That was in Africa. And across the entire world, when slavery was taking place, which was the first nation in the world that abolished slavery? The first nation in the world to abolish it. It was started by William Wilberforce, was the British. In Great Britain, they abolished slavery. 2,000 naval men died on the high seas trying to stop slavery. Why? Because the African kings were rounding up their own people. They had them on cages waiting in the beaches. No one was running into Africa to get them. And I think you're totally right. If reparations need to be paid, we need to go right back to the beginning of that supply chain and say, who was rounding up their own people?
Look at the look on Don Lemon's face.
Cages? Absolutely. That's where they should start. And maybe, I don't know, the descendants of those families where they died in the high seas trying to stop the slavery, that those families should receive something too, I think, at the same time.
It's an interesting discussion, Lori. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's an interesting discussion.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Yeah, it's an interesting discussion. I bet it is an interesting discussion. He wasn't expecting to hear that. Fact of the matter is, and I'm just saying, do your own research. Don't believe shit I say. Believe whatever you want to believe. I give two fucks myself. But I'm telling you, from what I've read, and I'm reading now, from a historical standpoint, we have always been our worst enemies. We have always been our worst enemies. We've been sellouts since the beginning of time. We always sold each other out. A dog cookie barking. We see that going on in America today. People try to rewrite history, but it is what it is. And what I don't, and this is why I hate race hustlers so much. I don't want to say hate them, but I don't like race hustlers because the race hustler job is to race hustle you in the name of race. And they don't believe in, hey, we can't allow these guys to be accountable. My dog got that barking. There's no accountability. If I can always deflect and look at someone else and put the blame on someone else, then I never hold myself accountable for why I abandoned my wife, my girlfriend, my kid's mother, why I abandoned my children, why I'm a mother who abandoned my children. I left my kids at my mama's house and I'm going 3, 4, 5 days partying and going sleeping with this guy and that guy and doing other things. And and then as sometimes we get a little older, then we start learning some things, and then we're going to start blaming other people. Well, it's systemic. Like most of my friends, they don't think like me. I don't be around a lot of them. I'm probably the only guy. Maybe it's a very few of us who think like me. But my other friends who I know, they don't do the reading that I do. They don't do the reading. I'm a black man that reads. That's very rare in 2022. I had a book in the barbershop. I was reading a book, and I had a barber come up to me, an older guy. Oh, man, you reading the book. What you reading? I was reading something about Dr. Claude Anderson. And it led me to buy some more books. You know what I mean? Let me drop these links. Let me drop some. Like I try to read a book a month. I love reading. Love researching, stuff like that. And when I ran across this video clip, it made me go back and look at the whole show. Now, I hate CNN. CNN is a propaganda machine of the White House, for the most part. And Fox and the mainstream media, they're propaganda machines for their political parties that they represent. American news media is controlled by the government, period. Social media platforms are controlled by the government, period. They know everything about you. They know where you go at. They pretty much know what you're going to do before you even do it because they study your patterns. Just being honest with you. You are being spied on and watched every step of the way. Just being honest with you. But what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to continue to perpetuate the lies. It's easy to blame white folks and blame other people it's very easy to do that. But it's very hard to look at that naked truth. Blacks was killing each other today the way we was killing each other back then before we got sold into slavery. Blacks was warring and beefing with each other because of tribes, just like blacks are warring and beefing with each other because of gangs. We had the battle of the sexes back then, just like we have it now. There's nothing unique about what's going on today. Prior to the European slave trade. We had the sub-Sahara with slave trade with the Arabs. 1400 years, 14 centuries. That's how niggas got introduced to Islam. When I done my research, I'm like, damn. I've been looking at this all wrong. And I realized that everything that I was taught, that I believed in, 98% of it was a lie. That's when I started waking up. I said, you know what, man? And I started cross-referencing information. Like, wait a minute, man, this ain't. Then I started talking to other people, and I started talking to some deep brothers, and they were like, man, you know, sometimes when you've been taught and programmed to believe a certain thing in life, it's very hard for the human mind to reprogram itself, so to speak, or unprogram itself. Because human beings, we're creatures of habit. Like, we are taught a certain thing, we believe a certain thing, it may be a part of our culture, our DNA, and we carry our lives on believing that. I was faced with something when I woke up out of my psychosis. I was faced with, damn, boy, everything that you ever believed in was a lie. You was never taught this. You was taught to look at it from this way over here. And who benefited from that? The race hustler, the politician. But now that I've woken up out of the matrix and I become Neo or Morpheus or whatever the case may be, now it's like, damn, I can't even be around a lot of people anymore that I used to be around because they hate me because I don't think the way they want me to think. And I'm not a lay down type of guy. I can give a damn about friend, foe, family, doesn't matter to me. If you want to fall out with me, fine, fall out. I would not miss you. There's almost 7 billion people on the planet. I'm not going to worry about 1 or 2 motherfuckers. Life goes on. I advise everyone to do their own research. Blacks, even before we came over here, before we was called blacks over here, we have always been our worst enemy. I had to be faced with that. I had to be faced with that uncomfortable truth. Yeah, people have done things to us and yada, 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 yada. But the people who done it to us, if it wasn't for our own people warring with us, capturing us, selling us to the Arabs, to the French, to the Portuguese, all that stuff there, and then the British, the English, whatever. We won't be having this discussion right now. Tariq Nasheed probably ain't gonna tell you this. Umar Johnson ain't gonna tell you this. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the narrative. And the lady said some real stuff. Okay, yeah, they deserve reparations. The Queen, the British Empire, racist, what they did to blacks. Yeah, that's true. America, they racist, what they did to blacks. Yeah, that's true. Guess what though? None of this shit would have happened if it wasn't for the black Africans, the West Africans. If your own people who look like you did not kill you, war with you, capture you, kept your ass in these castles that were like dungeons, cages, so that because Ghana is on the ocean, so that when the slave trader did come in, or the slave buyer did come in to buy the slaves, your own people was the one that had your ass captured. They sell your black ass to the English. Prior to that, they sold you to the Arabs for 14 centuries. You know what I mean? So this is what they did. Wasn't no Tarzan jumping off the boats. Let's go into these Africa and snatch these black men up for all these hundreds of years. That didn't happen. Your own people did it to you. just like they're doing it to you now. It's an uncomfortable truth, but it's the reality of the situation. And I tell people this all the time, like the people who talk to me about reparation, this and that. I had a barber when I was living in Miami. Friend of mine named Chris. I'm not going to give his last name. He used to always talk about that. Man, Malachi, why you always saying this? And he was trying to, and he's a diehard liberal. He's a diehard Democrat. And I'm not a Democrat nor Republican. But he like, yeah, man, he's a progressive. He's a progressive. And yeah, why you always, he used to always, it was so important for him for me to see things the way he wanted me to see it. And I'm like, nah, Chris, you need to read this. I don't need to read that book. I know what I'm seeing. That's okay. Chris, you got to do your own research because you're trying to teach me. He was Jamaican. You're trying to teach me about history when I know more about the history than you do. You don't even do your own studying and research. So you only know what you was heard from the news or heard from some conscious community dudes or whatever the case may be. But some of them dudes will tell you. Like one thing I will say about some dudes in the conscious community, like Brother Polite, that's a very, very bright dude. The Armored Raw Squad, very, very bright. Those guys, I can't speak for all of them, but those guys in particular, they've done the research. I used to watch these guys, and I used to just buy all kind of different books and stuff like that, and used to read and study a lot. That's how I know so much. But I read and study a lot. I still have all of my books. Well, the ones I'm telling you about here. I have them in the garage because I have a lot of books here. I have some over there. I just haven't put everything up yet. Have some in a box right there on my floor. And these guys are like, break this shit down, man. Man, look, man, this tribe is warm with this tribe. That tribe is warm with that tribe. Just like gangbanging today, same thing. Shout out to Kane. He said, do you think Africans would have been able to resist if one group took over all of the rest of Africa? I don't know. Africa is a continent, dog. It's a huge continent, and it has 54 countries, 55 countries. And so, bro, you can't, there's no one group, no one group can control a continent. No one group can control a continent. Shout out to Lady Shannon in the building. Cool, Burker, salute to you, fam. We've always been tribalistic people by nature. Even to the day, people are tribalistic. And this is not blacks, it's just everybody. Every race of people are tribalistic. Everyone have done evil to each other, stuff like that. Fact of the matter is, we are our own worst enemies over here. And what is it? What am I saying back then has to do with today? What I'm saying, there's nothing unique about what we're doing to each other today. There's nothing unique about this. We've always been killing each other. We've always been raping our women or killing our men or sending our boys to war or kidnapping. We've always done these things to each other. Every race has done it, though. Every race has done it. But I just want to dispel the myth that there was no white people jumping off of ships and just grabbing. See, just think about it. It doesn't even make sense. So what the other dudes was doing? So we just walking around. Hey, man, you heard about what happened to Bobby? Mobutu? What happened to Mobutu? Man, there was some white folks jumped off the boat and they just kidnapped him. Him, his wife, and his kids. Oh, they did? Yeah, they kidnapped all of them. Oh, they did that Mobutu? Yeah, they did that Mobutu. And they keep coming back. Every month, they keep coming back every month. How long they been coming back? Well, they've been doing it for the past 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 years. So everybody know that they've been coming over here doing this for all this time. Ain't nobody did nothing. People were just sitting around, just letting them get kidnapped. That's not what happened. Your own people was capturing you, selling you. Call it what you want to call it. Call it coon talk. Call it sellout talk. Call it what they like to call it. Call it right-wing talking points. Say whatever you want to say. It's not going to change the reality of that situation. I dare you to do some research and read some books. We know blacks don't like reading books, right? That's what they say over here. Black Americans don't like reading books. I dare to do some research and read some books that was written by black Africans. Let me go ahead and give you guys the books that you can get. Some of these is written by Africans and some of these is written by black Americans. But and I think one was written by someone in the UK as well. Black. Very, very important that I do that because I know how niggas think in America. They would deny the truth because they don't like the messenger. If it doesn't come from a certain person who looks like them, they would deny it. And they still gonna deny it anyways if it doesn't conform to what they have been already want to believe. If it doesn't, they'll deny it anyways. They'll reject it. And I know. But let me go ahead and do this here. He said, you're right, Ethiopia is one of the biggest trading ports for the Arab slave trade. Yeah, that's how niggas got introduced to Islam. When blacks say Assalamu alaikum and do they rakahs, yeah, you got indoctrinated with that. Your own people sold you into the Arabs, 14 centuries. Brutal. Oh, that was brutal. Very brutal. Person asked me today, he say, man, are you? And I study a lot of groups. I study the white Europeans. Now, this is no bearing on white people that's here today. White people that's here today had nothing to do with that. No more than blacks today had nothing to do with what the blacks did centuries ago. But the fact of the matter is, if it wasn't for us, there would be a lot of this shit that's going on right now wouldn't be going on over here. And it probably still be going on. And we was in West Africa some goddamn where, but it probably wouldn't be going on over here. We did this to ourselves. Shout out to Major Key Boxings. Major Key, what's going on, fam? So, enough of that. Let me, as a matter of fact, let me give y'all these books. Let me get all these books. Sorry about that. Let me get all these books. Told you I was going to drop them on you, right? Let's see. Sandra E. Green. Get these books right here. This book here is called Slave Owners of West Africa. And this is, get this book by Sandra E. Green. Sandra E. Green. Sister right here. She breaks it down like a 57 Chevy. Let's continue. Go here, Sandra E. Green. Give you another book. Africa and Africans in the making of the Atlantic world. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, I read this book twice. In the making of the Atlantic world. Atlantic. Yeah, the Atlantic. See, I'll be listening to a lot of these guys, right? And this is going to be from 1400, from the 1400s through the 1800s. Yep. And this book is written by John Thornton. This brother here. Give you another one. Whether Negroes are masters. Whether Negroes are masters. Let me make sure I got that right. Oh, Thornton. This guy's name is Thornton. Do your own research. You can get these books if you want to. If not, don't get them. Don't make me know, never mind. But I'm going to drop it for those who, there might be some young brothers who may see this video and they may want to look something up. Maybe I can lead them down a certain path. I'm not looking to try to open up the eyes of an older person, somewhere around my age or older. I know you set in your ways already. It ain't no hope for you. But someone who's younger, Jordan Sparks. So that's some right there. Randy J. Sparks. There's another one right here. Black slave owners. And these books was written by black people. So we're not going to say, oh, man, this white folks propaganda. But you're going to chop it off anyway. They might say, oh, man, this Uncle Tom, these dudes are Cools and Uncle Toms. Okay, Cools and Uncle Toms. Yeah, I know. Anything to deflect. I get it. Larry Rogers. And let's see, there's another one. Slavery and slaving in Africa. In African history. I don't have this book. I don't have this book by Sean Stillwell. I don't have that book right there. And we have one more. This one here was written by a brother from Africa. A history indigenous. Hold on, guys. I'm going to get to the chat in a minute. Indigenous slavery in Ghana. I have this book right here. I only read it one time, though. I learned about this book from John Henrik Clarke. John Henrik Clarke was the one I heard about this book from when he was alive. Adoma. And I think that's it. You can get those from Amazon. If you got Prime, they'll be here in 24 hours, something like that. Shout out to Kene. You said I asked earlier because many believe that African can only come from the third world if they unite, like Haile Selassie wanted. We've never been united. There's no. I don't think there's no race of people on the planet has ever been united. Like that just doesn't happen. Because in many different parts of the world, everybody have their own culture, their own belief system. There's always going to be someone that's stronger than the other. There's always going to be one group more powerful than the other. And normally the guys who have power, and they may want more power. And in order to get that power, they're going to have to go to war with someone else. They may want the resources. They may like the women. The women are always the victims of the war because they're always casualties of the war. Because like whatever tribe dominates another tribe, then immediately those women. That's why it's important that you kill the men off first. And then, the women are defenseless. So it's so easy to take the women. The women are going to do what they got to do to survive, to take care of their children and stuff like that. So they give in. But what's going on in America, with a lot of stuff that's going on, and I'm pretty sure this is probably going on all over the world, but what's going on in America as it relates to the crime, the violence, the what they like, the race of the white supremacy. They got a system set up. I say, bro, you do know that these are Marxist talking points? They got a system that's keeping us down. No, nigga, we have always kept each other down. Yeah, we went through some shit over here. That's true facts. But you don't want to address how you went through it or why you went through it. You want to just stop the buck on one group of people and totally ignore your hand in the whole thing. Well, don't be looking at me. Yeah, I had something. Y'all say I had something to do with it, but don't be looking at me. Let's blame them. No. Nigga, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be talking about them. And this is what's going on today. I'm not gonna lie, I really fear for our children growing up in this time. These are very, very dangerous times we're living in. But you know what, though? These times have always been dangerous. When I sit back and reflect, I realize, I grew up in dangerous times myself. It's always been dangerous. It's always been bad. But it's always been good as well. It just depends on what the paradigm is. I told you guys, I was a zombie for like 25 years. But then I snapped out of my zombieism in 2016, 6 years ago. I snapped out of it. And it's because it was because I started doing my own research. I started doing a lot of reading. I started learning things that, well, you know what, man? Yeah, ain't nobody made me do that. I kind of made that choice right there. Yeah, I kind of made a bad choice right there. Yeah, no one made me do this. No one really made me do that. I made a bad choice and I'm suffering the consequences of my actions. But what I was taught really wasn't, I started waking up to a lot of things. Then I started seeing things differently. And I can tell you, man, once I changed my paradigm, the way I see things have been going so good for me in my life. I've become more of an isolationist. I don't hang around a lot of people because I'm pretty much damn near the only person who think like me. So when you don't have people who think like you, shout out to F Society. I can't be around people who like my lifestyle is different now, right? My lifestyle is totally different now. See things totally differently. And I can't be around. I don't like mainstream media. I can't stand mainstream media. I really don't like social media. But what I do like about social media, you can choose what you want to watch, see, whatever the case may be. But there's a lot of foolishness going on social media. There's a lot of perpetuation going on social media. Like, example, what I don't like about the Black American culture. The Black American culture is some bullshit. We praise the Black American culture is very, very self-destructive. The Black American culture promotes strippers and gangbang. It's the strip. The women look up to the Cardi B's, the Beyoncés, the Nicki Minaj's, the Megan Thee Stallions. You know what I mean? These women will be looked upon as leaders, and so our girls are looking up to that. And then the men, the young men, they're looking up to the rappers. And we're taking on self-destructive behaviors within this self-destructive culture. The culture, the Black American culture is terrible. Just the American culture is terrible because it's led by progressivism, and it tells you what's up is down and what's down is up. Women are men. Anybody that's a man, too much toxic masculinity. What the hell is toxic masculinity? Men who were born men, and no matter how much surgeries you have the genetic makeup of a man. You still have the male chromosomes. That's not going to change. I identify as a woman, so I'm going to play in the women's sports. And if you say something against that, then you hate, you have hatred in your heart if you don't agree with me. Man, fuck you. I don't give a fuck about your agenda. Not gonna push that shit on my kids. We're gonna have transgenders and drag queens coming to elementary schools, and we're gonna teach your kids about our lifestyle. I don't care nothing about your lifestyle. You're not gonna teach my children shit. He said, what brought about the demise? That's a good question. What brought about the demise? For what I've been researching, Knockdown 305, on the continent of Africa, there's always been strife. You gotta understand, dog, this is a big ass continent. North Africa, East Africa, West Africa, South Africa. And you have big countries on this continent. Just look at it. Throughout history, any country, they have always done evil things to each other. One clique is always, a group or tribe have always dominated another tribe. That's anywhere you go studying in history. So it's always been that way. I don't know, unless someone knows something I don't know. I don't know a time where, like, people talk about Mansa Musa. Mansa Musa was the richest man in ever in the world. He had gold carriers. No, he didn't have gold carriers. He had slaves. Mansa Musa owned slaves. Black people are slaves. The reason why I don't like the king, like, yeah, that's a king right there. Kings always had slaves. We was kings and queens in Africa. Yeah, who was the slaves? Kings and queens always had slaves, right? Well, it was different. We didn't enslave each other like that. No, it wasn't. We was brutal as hell against each other. We opened up the door for to allow other people to slave us. Because our people called us and sold us into slavery. So you asked me what brought about the demise. I have no idea. I have no idea. You said the Mongolians stepped on shit and made everybody pipe down though. Talking about the Mongolians, yeah. With Genghis Khan and all of those guys. Tony Kelly said entertainers seem to be spokesperson. Entertainers are spokesperson for black people. Tony Kelly. If you notice, the entertainers are always, we always talk, look at LeBron, look at our entertainers. Bruh, you'll never find nowhere on the planet Earth where the intelligent group of people in society look up to entertainers as celebrities. I mean, as leaders. Dude, he said, he say, you like Twitter, coach? Yeah, I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter for boxing. I be seeing all that crazy stuff that going on Twitter. I just put my stick to myself and do me. Shout out to the one, Mr. Ham. If society say walked out, he say walked out, never came back. So, what's going on over here in America, and it's probably going on in the UK as well. I don't know to what degree, but what's going on over here in America, man, is a bunch of culturalism, I think the main thing is just a lot of this progressive bullshit. And you see it in the government policies and just a lot of this crazy stuff. A lot of this stuff is Marxism. By Karl Marx. I got his book right there, Karl Marx. A lot of this stuff is like a lot of the black nationalists are Marxists. Like the sisters of BLM, the three dykes at BLM. They're Marxists. They say they're trained Marxists. I advise you to look up Marxism. Look that up. Shout out to Jason Williams. What's going on, family? Say peace, coach. Peace, everyone in the chat. Yes, sir. Peace, everyone in the chat. So, our women, whew, boy, bro, I'm gonna tell you something. Me being a man, and I'm sitting back looking at how evil men are in the world, regardless whether they black, white, whatever, Hispanic, Asian, doesn't matter. And me being honest, men are very evil. Men have always been evil. We have good men, but we have evil men as well. It's because it's always led by power, always led by the thirst for power. And in order to gain more power, you have to go to war. You have to kill. If my tribe wants your tribe's resources and vice versa, the men will go to war. The men will take the young boys, train them to put their lives on the line as well, to go to war to defend our territory. No different than what we see with Bloods and Crips, Democrats, Republicans. It's the same thing. We're going to go to war with each other. I'm going to kill your men, women, and children. Or kill off so many of your men and then dominate your women and rape them and impregnate them and give them my seeds and stuff like that. Men have always do that. Men are very evil. Me being the man, I sit back and look at it. We evil to the motherfucker. When I say we, I'm not talking about us in the chat, but you get what I'm saying though. He said, I don't do social media anymore, and my kids are not allowed to have any devil's platform apps. Plus, take away the idiot box. Yeah, the idiot box, and make sure we travel a lot. Hey, F Society, I feel you, fam. I feel you. I feel you. Tony Keller, what you say? You say it's gotten worse today with these so-called influencers. Listen, the influencer's job is to what? Influence you. The influencer's job is to influence you to buy, to purchase stuff, right? But let's break this down. This is an influencer. So when you hear about Kim Kardashian, what the influencers are talking about, the influencers, this is an influencer. An influencer is a marketer, right? Influencer marketing, also known as influence marketing, is a platform of social media marketing involving endorsements and product placements from influencers. So look, what is an influencer, guys? An influencer is an internet celebrity, or maybe they're not on the internet. But an internet celebrity is a celebrity who has acquired or developed their fame and notability through the internet. That's an internet celebrity. That's the influencer. That's the definition of an influencer. The rise of social media has helped people increase their outreach to a global audience. Today, popular influencers are found on popular online platforms such as Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, yada, 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 YouTube, yada, 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 yada. So an influencer is who? An influencer is an internet celebrity. That's what an influencer is. Oh, did you see the Beehive today? Beyonce got a new perfume line out. She has a lot of followers. They know that if Beyonce come out, smile, because the bitch don't say nothing. So, do this, put that stupid ass smile on her face, and show her product she got. I got this chapstick right here. But then, oh, girl, you saw what Beyonce did? She put some chapstick on today. What kind of that chapstick that is? So, because she has a following, and people like to be led, she has a following. Guess what? Because of her actions, what she did, and she said, hey, buy New Media Today or buy Midnight Conversations on chapstick. It'll make your lips look like the moonlight is shining off of it. Oh, we got to go buy that. And they say, a whole bunch of people buying a whole bunch of stuff. She just influenced you to go buy that stuff. We're going to endorse a political candidate. And because people follow certain artists and you see them endorsing a political candidate, because they are an influencer, that you're going to follow what they do and you're going to endorse that candidate because that influencer told you so, because they have an impression on you. That's all it is. That's all it is. Influencer marketing is when a brand enrolls influencers who have, okay, here it goes right here. This is the other part of it. Influencer marketing is when a brand enrolls influencers who have an established credibility and audience on social media platforms to discuss or mention the brand in a social media post. Influencers' content may be framed as testimonial advertising. Now, me, I'm a marketer. I understand what this stuff is. You get what I'm saying? So that's it. So the government in America controls your celebrities. They control your major media outlets. Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS. That's pretty much controlled by the CIA for the most part. It's a propaganda piece for the intelligence community. When they want to push a certain agenda, or like with COVID or whatever the case may be, they use their media outlets to push that agenda. If they hate a politician, and you see all of the social media and celebrities and major media outlets attacking this one guy, more than likely that one guy is what's good for you, who's good for you. But because that one guy is against the establishment or the intelligence community, they have to they have to work all of their operatives. We need all of you guys to get out there and speak against this guy, because you have influence over these feeble-minded individuals who follow you. We can cut off your paycheck at any given time. We can cancel you and make sure that you never get a job again anywhere. Do what you're told, boy. Do what you're told, girl. Okay, then they come out and they attack this one person. They attack this one celebrity or whatever the case may be. It's very easy to see. You'll know, because whoever they group up against to attack, that person that they are attacking is a threat to their message. I am the type of guy, the person who is getting overwhelmingly attacked by the matrix, by the machine, that's the person who I cling towards. Because I'm a very, very conscious individual. And I can think for myself. I don't believe in group thinking. When they went against Dave Chappelle, I remember when they went against Dave Chappelle. You know, the mainstream media was at Dave Chappelle. Remember, he left the Chappelle show, went to Africa. Yeah, man, he done went crazy. He turned down $50 million and this and that, this and that. They tried to say he was crazy. And all different celebrities was talking bad about Dave Chappelle. Now, Chappelle has bounced back, of course. But this is what happens. People around the world are like sheep. They're followers. They do what they're told. Grown men and women are very, very easy to be misled and tricked and fooled. If you consume the idiot box all day, I will infiltrate your brain through the idiot box. If you consume your phone all day, I will infiltrate your brain through your phone. Every time you own this motherfucker, they watching you. They can see me right now through this phone without me getting on camera. Technology is a very, very good thing if it's used for good purposes, but all of your technology has been hijacked by your local governments. If you are in the UK, I don't know who that would be. Would that be the Scotland Yard or whoever your intelligence communities are, whatever the case may be? But they got you dialed in, baby. If you're in China, they got you dialed in. Whatever freedom you think you have over here in America, yeah, we have freedoms better than everyone else, but it's all the same shit. Facebook is being ran by the CIA and the FBI. Google is being ran by the CIA and the FBI. Facts. When I want to control you, I will feed you a strong dose of Don Lemon. I will feed you a strong dose of Beyonce. Beyonce, bitch, I need you to get up there and say this and that. Jay-Z, nigga, I need you to get up there and say this and that. LeBron James, I need you to get up there and say this and that. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, I need you to get up here and say this and that. I need you to attack my political opponent right now. Next thing you know, yes, I'm boss, that's what happens. Political parties pretty much around the world are on the same team. In America, Black Americans believe that the Democrats are some good people and they love Black people and they just look out for us and they do everything for us, and Republicans are racist and evil. And they think that, and I think from a political standpoint, Black Americans for the most part are part of the dumbest political, because the Black Americans know nothing about politics. They know nothing about policies. And Black Americans vote based on skin color and certain, one-sided. Democrats and Republicans are on the same team. It's a uni-party system. George Bush was evil. Barack Obama was an extension of George Bush. He was no different from George Bush. Only difference is he was Black and he spoke a lot more smoother than George Bush. How do I know? Look at President Obama's policies. Look at his policies. Look at his foreign policies. Bush was evil and a warmonger. Obama was an extension of George Bush. I can literally show you pictures with Bush and Obama was hugging together and taking pictures together. You think that I hate them because they're Republican. I hate them because they Democrat. But Bush and Obama are friends. They don't share that hatred that you share. See, they teach you that down here. See, the sheep is always easy to be deceived. Nigga don't even know that the Democrats and the Republicans are on the same team. It's the biggest trick ever told. Don't matter who you vote for. Guess what? They're all being controlled by a group of people. Look at the policies. The policies tell you who they are. Care nothing about because you with the Bloods or the Crips. What colors you wear. I try to do this for the young people. The people who my age and older, there's no help for you. You already been brainwashed and you're set in your ways. There's no help for you. When I talk, I try to talk to the babies. I don't worry about the grown folks. They got to die off. They got to run off in the wilderness and die off. Maybe they'll wake up later on down the line. Maybe they won't. I'm not worried about them. I try to focus on the babies. Maybe one of them will see this show. Maybe this will spark something in their brain. I don't know. There was no difference from Bill Clinton and George Bush the first. They all bombed other countries. They all bombed other countries, removed presidents, had regime changes, talked about the New World Order. They're all on the same team. You fools think that, nigga, I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican. Nigga, we different. No. The Democrat and Republican is controlled by the same motherfucking group of people. America is nothing but a colony of Britain. Sound crazy, don't it? America is a colony of Britain in 2022. Sound crazy. I know it do. We was independent in 1776. Yeah. Look at the policies. Look at the foreign policies to be exact. You ever wonder why your government always send money, billions of dollars to other countries? We got to help Ukraine. Why? That's messed up what Russia doing in Ukraine. Oh, it is? Well, I tell you what. Was it messed up when Obama invaded Libya with NATO and they killed Muammar Gaddafi and destabilized our whole region? And now in Libya, they have blacks in slavery right now today? Was it messed up when Obama sent drone planes throughout different African countries, nations in Africa, and went to bombing them? Oh, was it messed up when George Bush made up a lie and we're going to invade Iraq and we're going to bomb them because Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction? Him, Colin Powell, Dick Cheney. America, you don't have the moral authority to tell another country what they should and shouldn't do. You have more military bases than any planet on the earth. And you threaten them with war. You'll be surprised. The people that your government is telling you is the bad guy is really the good guy. Your government is your enemy, believe it or not. I know you're not going to believe it. Don't make me know, never mind. I am of the minority. And ain't too many people think like me. And I'm glad, I'm glad I see this. It is what it is. Don't matter. They're on the same team. He said he ain't lying. Shout out to Knockdown 305. He said, yeah, they help Ukrainians and ignore the African there. You know the crazy part about it? In Ukraine, they have and I'm not trying to bring race in anything, but in Ukraine, they got a part of their government. They got a group of people over there. They racist is all outdoors, like the Aryan nation. I dare y'all to do some research on Ukraine. Man, if someone, bro, listen, let me tell you something about Ukraine. I've been knowing about Ukraine. This before this Russian stuff. Man, they got some of the most, bro, they hate, bro, like they have a military wing over there. Bro, they hate, bro. Oh my Lord, they hate blacks, bro. They treat blacks like shit. I'm not saying all of Ukraine. There's a section over there in the military wing of them. We got to go help Ukraine. Why? Russia invaded Ukraine, man. That's between them. You know what you're not telling the people is that you're fighting a proxy war through Ukraine. You're not telling the people that. You're not telling the people that you use Ukraine as a launching pad for when you want to go to war with Russia. You're going to use Ukraine. You're going to launch from Ukraine to attack Russia. You're not telling them that. Coach, are you taking up for Vladimir Putin? No, I ain't taking up for nothing. I'm just telling you what your government is not telling you. They're not telling you this. America is one of the most evil. America and Britain. America and Britain. And America is nothing but a colony of Britain. America does what the hell Britain tells. You know, anytime Britain gets into something, America, we have to always, we got to get into it. Britain pretty much control America right now. They've been took this country back over. All of the banks, the banking systems in the banks, they're in London. The financial institutions, they're out of London. They control the economy of the United States. Britain is colonized. Britain goes all over the world. I don't think no country colonized more countries than Britain. It's like, how the hell this small? That's why they call it the British Empire. This small ass country, how they able to go around everywhere and colonize all these different countries? You know, like the British are very, very smart. I'm talking about the ruling class. They dominate anywhere they go. They dominate because they control the currencies of everywhere. If you get out of line, we're going to have you killed. NATO must survive. Yeah, NATO must survive. Yeah. The North Atlantic Trade Organization. These people go all over the world, man, causing evilness, wickedness, and chaos. These people go all over the world committing wickedness, evilness, and chaos. America's evil as hell, man. Every last one of them. All of them. I don't give a fuck about. Nah, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. YouTube will probably end this live if I say this, because YouTube is controlled by the CIA. Facebook is controlled by the CIA. iPhone, Apple was controlled by the CIA. If you know, the eyes see, the ears hear, but nothing is never what it appears to be. One of my favorite movies, guys, is The Matrix. One of my favorite movies is The Matrix. Bro, if you watch The Matrix and just look at it, I'm going to tell you another movie that I really, really like too. There's a werewolf movie between werewolf, vampires, and werewolves called The Underworld. I watched all of the Matrixes. The last one really wasn't that good. The last one they came out with recently. In the underworld. When you have a knowledge of self and your eyes are open, you can see things a lot clearer. You can see the messages that they're trying to convey. And one thing I will say about Hollywood, Hollywood tells you a lot of stuff, but they know that the average sleep mind, they can't see it. It's very similar to like the music industry. The music industry is very, very evil and demonic. You know, you see a lot of symbolism. As a matter of fact, let me show you something. Hold on, let me show you guys something. There's a book I have by a brother by the name of Professor Griff. Professor Griff was a part of the hip-hop group called Public Enemy. He was a part of the S1Ws. This book right here, now I bought this book from Professor Griff personally. I met the brother. I met a lot of the brothers that's in the conscious community. From Sarah Suit and Seti to, I haven't met Brother Polite, Brother Garfield, Unc from the Amin Ra Squad, Zaza Ali, a lot of these people, right? I support a lot of these people in the past, but I've done my own research. This book here is called The Psychological Covert War on Hip Hop. And what he does in this book, he breaks down all of the symbolisms. There's a lot of symbolic stuff goes on in hip hop, in music. You know, it's certain things that you look at as entertainment, they be doing all kind of rituals and stuff like that. The music industry is controlled by the CIA. Y'all don't hear me. The music industry is controlled by the CIA. Music is very powerful. When you want to control people, you can control them through media. Music is media. Secret societies and all that stuff there. Yeah. All that stuff is real. It's real. The symbolisms. You know, you may see, different handshakes. You know, you talk about different Masonic handshakes and stuff like that. Yada, yada, yada. All that stuff is true. All that stuff is true. Got Dr. Francis Cress Welsing in here. Dr. Claude Anderson. Professor Griff. The Boondocks is one of my favorite cartoons. The Boondocks is that brother, what the dude name, McGregor. He was very, very, lot of real stuff in there. A lot of real stuff in the Boondocks as well. Let me show you how hip-hop music was used to destroy the black culture. Back in the day, there was a politician by the name of C. Dolores Tucker. C. Dolores Tucker talked about, hey man, that was like back in the day, some of you guys probably wasn't born or maybe too young, but there was a movement to try to get rid of the gangster rap music by the Democrat Party. C. Dolores Tucker. That sister was right what she was trying to do. Because she talked about, hey, listen, man, this is very, very dangerous. They're breeding a culture within our community that's self-destructive to our people. This type of music is promoting gang culture and it's promoting promiscuity amongst our women. The strip culture came in through music. It came in through Luke Skywalker. Now, of course, they always had like porn and stuff like that with Hustler magazines and Playboy and stuff like that. They always had that. But it wasn't really out in the open like that. But through the hip hop music, it was, it always catered to the lower self. You know, the human has two sides. You have your elevated self and you have your lower self. Your lower self is your animalistic self. When you're at your lowest point, you act like an animal. You say, yeah, Tupac called her out. Yeah, but Tupac was a part of the problem. Tupac called her out, but Tupac was full of shit. I used to love Tupac. And I was the type of guy, I love these rappers, they couldn't do no wrong. But now that I'm old, I realize, you know what, man? He'll say some good stuff, But it was a lot, especially when he got to death row. When he got to death row, he became this total different character. He was a gangster all of a sudden. And he got his ass killed. He got killed. He got killed. Doing dumb shit. Tupac got killed doing what? Kicking a killer. Baby Lane from Southside Compton Crips. About a death row chain in Las Vegas. You wasn't even a blood or a Crip. You wanted to be Lord of Death Row and all this stuff there and had all these niggas with you, and the nigga killed you. You died, at the end of the day, you died over a chain. Tupac. Good rapper though, He was a good rapper, I give him that, good rapper. But I don't idolize that nigga. It's one of my favorite rappers, but I'm wise enough to know better now. When I was growing up, I remember the gangster rap was getting pushed heavy. And when I was coming up, we used to have like the positive rap, the X-Clan, the Public Enemy. That was coming out of New York. Rakim. Then Luke came. Luke came out in 86 with 2 Live Crew. Then he started becoming more and more popular. So that introduced the strip culture to hip hop. You know, bitches, hoes, hoe pop that pussy, suck that dick, this, that, yada, 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 blah, this, quasi, the degrading of the women. And then the gang culture came in through the NWA and Ice-T and stuff like that. Wet the nigga up, shoot him with the fofo. Here's a little something about a nigga like me. Never should have been let out the penitentiary. And then we when I was growing up, we idolized all of the negative stuff when I was growing up. So I can't sit back and tell you guys, yo, man, these young kids today, man, they wild. We wasn't like that growing up. No, we was wild too. We was wild and stupid. We looked up to the dudes who came home from prison. Well, look how big he is. Look how thick he is. Look at all the muscles he got. And the guy who went to college, or the girl who went to college and got a degree, we didn't even pay them no attention. Because we was programmed to glorify the animalistic behavior, our lower selves. And we was programmed to reject the intellectual self, the higher self. And that's what you see going on today. He said the gangs even exist before the 80s. Yeah, absolutely. Gangs been around a long time. Gangs have always existed. Gangs have always existed. Food Revolution, what they say, since I grew up in LA in the 90s, all that is fake. Why do you think it's targeted towards the youth? Yeah. Lisa Bell say, he said, I remember Tipple Gore, they started putting explicit lyrics on album covers. Yeah. Now, the music industry saw this as an opportunity to make money. Wants to see a Freaknik. I remember that Jack the Rapper. I've been to all of that in Atlanta. Freaknik, Jack the Rapper. I've been to all that. I used to be a young fool. He said, what do you know about JT Money, Coach? I'm from Florida. JT Money came out in 1991. Poison Clan. The dude that the Poison Clan was dude named it was JT Money, and the dude JT's name is Jeff. And Debonair was from New York. He said Italians and Irish came over here with gangs. Yeah, the gangs been way before them. Gangs been way before Italians and Irish. Italians and the Irish and Italians though. I remember when Italians and Irish came over here, they wasn't even considered white. White didn't come about. You know, white and black is a social construct. I think that came about in the 1800s. I think that came about in the 1800s, if I'm not mistaken. Black people, white people. Yeah, that came about like the 1800s. They included the Italians and the Irish to be a part of white. But that's another story for another day. So the music, yeah, my dad grew up listening to Spice One. Yeah, I'm listening to Spice One today. Welcome to the ghetto. So we glorified the gangster stuff, not knowing that we was we not knowing that we was being programmed by the CIA through the music. The CIA pretty much controls the music industry, right? And again, when you want to control the people, you use influencers to do it. Influencers have always been around. They can literally take an artist that's nobody, put a nice beat on there, clean his image up, drop a video on YouTube now. It used to be The Box or MTV or BET. And since we control everything, we're going to make sure that this artist blow up. We're going to have this artist's song playing in rotation on the radio station 20 times a day, at least 2 times an hour. He's going to be on the videos. He's going to be on the radio. And we're going to program the people to like this song. And if it's a tight beat, it's going to be real easy to get them anyways. 187 proof. Yeah, Spice One. He say, Coach, I know you off the NOI, but your knowledge base is extensive. And I can tell that they made a positive impact on you. Yeah. Listen, I don't hate the NOI. The Nation of Islam had a very positive impact on me. If it wasn't for the Nation, like, I went through steps. The Nation of Islam is not perfect. They do have some full of shit stuff going on in the Nation of Islam, I'm not going to lie. But for the most part, you have people like Minister Farrakhan. He did his thing to try to wake black people up. If you want to hear Minister Farrakhan in his purest form, you got to listen to Farrakhan in the 80s. Not the one that 95 Million Man March on up. And I mean, that's just for me. The purity of that is the 80s. Because, but I'll get it. That's another story for another day. I'll talk about that some other time. But yeah, I came up, Jason, around a lot of tight brothers. Not necessarily Nation, though. In the Nation, I had my grandfather, Minister Abdul Kareem Muhammad from New York. Captain Samuel Muhammad from New York came out of Moss number 47. He did 12 years in Attica prison. Sam was a shooter. He's dead now. Sam was a shooter. He was the go. He was gonna go get it. Norman Muhammad, formerly known as Norman Thrasher, out of Detroit, Moss number 2. All these are older brothers. A lot of the guys who I came up around who taught me was First Resurrection. He was First Resurrection. Brother Jabril Muhammad, the one who told Minister Farrakhan, gave him some literature to read. Yeah, this book right here gave him some literature to read to let him know he need to pick back up the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. This book right here, the covert war against hip hop, talks about the Vatican, the pedophiles rings from the Vatican with the popes. It talks about the Obama, got Obama in here, the sellouts. Like a lot of the people who are the real sellouts, you praise them as heroes. The Jesse Jacksons, the Obamas, the Tom Joyners, all of these guys are influencers, and they sold out a long time ago. Their job is, if you notice a lot of stuff about these guys who we look up to, Professor Griff talked about how they was trying to introduce homosexuality through the music. He was talking about this way back then. Amber Rose, Kanye West, the rituals that they do in the entertainment industry. The rituals. Erykah Badu. Y'all love Erykah Badu, huh? No, y'all do. I know y'all love Erykah Badu, boy. Yeah, I know y'all do. Baduism. Shout out to Lady Shan. She said he was banned and still is from the UK. My mom always followed him. And then me too eventually. Farrakhan, yeah. Khan Shonery say they always claim that people are negatively influenced by themes, images, and sounds from music, movies, and television. Yeah, you gotta, especially when you understand like how the human brain works and the frequencies and stuff like that. You have people who study you every day, Khan. They understand you they know you better than you know yourself. You have people who study you every day. They know you better than you know yourself. They know your spending habits, what you like. They know what you look at. They know you very well. You have no idea. And especially now with these devices, they definitely know you through these devices. Denzel Washington said something that was so key. He say, are you using the device or is the device using you? Lisa said, we are so programmed through movies as well. Yeah, just all of that is media. He said people are so desensitized to violence, unbeknownst to them. Yeah, all of that is media. Music, television, movies, all of that is media. He say, what was the CIA element though? Did they form the groups? No, I mean, the CIA controls the messaging that comes out. Some of them, I mean, you know what? There's a rumor. There's a rumor. I don't know how true this is, fam. Con. There's a rumor that. What's the British? What is the British intelligence in the UK? Like, what would be the equivalent of the CIA in Britain? Well, in I guess the United Kingdom, if I'm saying it right. You know, from my understanding, they put groups together. You said, yep, I'm Roman Catholic, and we went to a Roman Catholic school, the Vatican sword and ritual stuff and demonic stuff, which is totally oxymoron. Not only that, but I got pictures on here where you got the Pope, when the child gets circumcised, they suck the blood from the child's penis. What kind of shit is that? That's pedophilia. You say, so the CIA element in music is infiltrating the content and manufacturing influential material. Yes, pretty much, yes. So the guy from the street may come up in, let's say me and you, Porcon, but we know, are you making beats in your house? I can rap. And then we start popping in the hood. And then we get signed to a record company. The record labels are already controlled anyways. So the record label job, it's not like you're working directly with the CIA. It's not like the CIA saying, yeah, Con Shonery and Coach Malachi, we the CIA. We finna write some lyrics for you and we finna make these beats. We want you to do this and do that. No, it doesn't work that way. Record labels are controlled by the Intelligence Committee organization in America. So we'll take a poor kid like a Will Smith or A$AP Rocky or an Ice Cube or whatever, and we're going to make sure that that music, you know what, this is the agenda that we're trying to push. Now, what we're doing, we're building prisons in America. We're building a lot of prisons around this time. I advise you to go get this book right here, The Psychological and Covert War of Hip Hop. Covert War on Hip Hop. It ties in the prison industrial complex and how it correlated with the gangster rap. And it talks about how the crime rate went up here. Was the drugs put in the community by the CIA? Absolutely. Was the guns put in the community by the CIA? Absolutely. Remember Oliver North and all that stuff there? Absolutely. Freeway Ricky Ross, unbeknownst to him, was selling drugs for the CIA. Didn't even realize it. I had him on the show, in the boxing show. He's going to come back on my show. He's going to come back on my show. That movie Snowflake's supposed to be based on Freeway Ricky Ross, but he didn't get no money out of it. Whatever. But anyways, so that's how that works. It's not like they're working with you personally. Yeah, I'm the CIA, dog. Let me write this rap for you, Ice Cube. No, it doesn't work that way. They just control the record companies and they make sure that the negative stuff. The record companies that influence you. Look, Con, I like that gangster song you made. We need more stuff like that. That stuff took off on the charts. You mean that song I made about, you know what I mean? Here's a little song about a nigga like me. Never should have been let out the penitentiary. Ice Cube would like to say that I'm a crazy motherfucker from around the way. Since the weather used to smoke weed out. Yeah, he didn't know when he was writing that. He didn't know that. What we gonna do, we gonna make sure we blow this up. And we're gonna market this to the people in the inner city. And I know because I looked up to it. We committed crimes based on those songs when I was growing up. It had an influence on our minds. So through that influencer of that rapper, that influenced me to, cling on to these things. And the record labels make sure that the song's played in heavy rotation. And I end up getting programmed to it. That's pretty much how it works. That's pretty much how, poor disenfranchised people always look up to stuff like that for some reason. But you ain't gotta, it is what it is. You ain't gotta believe it, you know what I mean? Just, All I gotta say, fam, do your own research. Do your own research. Understand how to read symbolism and stuff like that. The artist will show it to you right in your face if you understand what you're looking at. Shout out to the M15, the M15. He say name the names. What names? What names he talking about? Oh, groups. What names he talking about? Conshana, how old are you? For one, let me ask you, how old are you? That's very important. How old are you? He say, that must be within themselves. I haven't seen that type of depot. I have pictures. Yeah, I'm not talking about capitalism and stuff like that. I have the actual pictures. As a matter of fact, let me see, do I have it here? I have the pictures. So I have the pictures. I've seen it. There's photos of this. Of popes sucking on little kids' penises that have been circumcised. Shout out to Professor Griff, man. He done a lot of extensive work. He done a lot of extensive work on this stuff. Him and another sister y'all need to check out named Zaza Ali. Oh, they go Beehive. They go be wearing Beyonce wearing the Baphomet costume right there. Rihanna. Like that. Yeah. All-seeing eye. Yeah. Brzezinski. Yeah. George Bush. What is doing his name? George Bush and Tony Blair. Prime Minister Tony Blair. Yeah. I haven't read this book in a while. I gotta go back and read it again. Go back and read it again. Cool Walker, he said, Coach, was you an NWA fan? Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. NWA was my favorite group. NWA was my favorite group. Yeah. It's my favorite group. You say, that's why I listen to old school soul music most of the time. The old school artists, a lot of them was involved in that stuff as well. I have the actual, as a matter of fact, I get the information and show it to you. It's no problem. Again, I'm not here to open your eyes. I don't give a damn what you believe. You know what I mean? Myself, but. He said that music must be within themselves. Oh, he said I must be, but I would have read that. What to say, Food Revolution? You say, yes, they never sign the educated, well-informed youth because they can't be used like the poor and uneducated kids. What to say, Shan? You say your version of the CIA is in the M15? Oh, the M15? Oh, you know what? The M15, so that's the version of the CIA. Oh, over there in Shannon, is that the UK or is that London or is that London? Khan say he's 50. Okay, you're 50 years old. What I would advise you to do, Khan Shiner, is this. Don't believe anything I say. I would advise you to do some research. I can lead you down the road that you can go down. I don't know what country you're from, where you live at. But look up how intelligence communities influences and infiltrates all forms of media, from the news medias to the social media platforms to the music, regardless of what type of music it is, hip hop, R&B, whatever, it doesn't matter. Study symbolisms, so you'll know what you're seeing when you see an artist do a certain thing, or you see a presidential candidate do a certain thing, or a prime minister or whatever. When you see certain hand signs and stuff that they do, like, this stuff is real. I advise you to do your own research. That's what I would advise you to do. Do your own research. Forget the hell with anything I say tonight. Throw all of that away. My advice to you is do your own research. You'll be surprised at what you find. He said record labels build you up and suck you dry. Lisa Bell says, I hate to say it, even gospel artists too. Al Powell say, R. Kelly. Yeah, R. Kelly. R. Kelly is a, put it this way, there's a bunch of R. Kellys. He's just the one they made an example out of and arrested. There's a bunch of R. Kellys in the industry. You'll be surprised. He's the one that, he said, was MJ guilty? I don't know. I don't know. I will say this. I don't know if he was guilty or not. I wasn't there. He was never found guilty of anything in a crime court of law. He went to trial and he won. But I will say this. It's strange for a grown man to say they don't mind they allow children to sleep in their bed. I would never do that. That's the purest innocence, of letting the child, sleep in your bed. Whether he's guilty or not, I don't know. I wasn't there, so. Shane, what it say? It's based in London? Okay. Lady Shan said, yes, it's very well. He said Trump does the whole hand signal shit. All of them do. Trump ain't the only one. George Bush, Barack Obama, all of them do. Tony Blair, King, Queen of England, all of them do. Con Chandler say I'm Canadian. Yeah, I don't know what goes on in Canada, so. You say, I'm just interested in what you're talking about. Just wanted to ask a couple of questions related to your topic. Yeah, but my thing is, I'm gonna tell you what I was told, Con. I remember when I was talking to Professor Griff, because I thought he was crazy. I said, man, Griff, man, you tripping. He said, I tell you what, I'm gonna tell you what this brother told me. I'm gonna tell you what this brother told me, Professor Griff. I have a picture of Professor Griff right here with him. As a matter of fact, me and Professor Griff is together. I haven't spoken to him in a while. I'm gonna tell you because I told Professor Griff, I say, man, you around here, man, you. It was me, Professor Griff, Zaza Ali. They came to Hollywood, Florida. Con, and I say, man, hey, I say this was 2014. This was before I snapped out of my psychosis. I say, man, Griff, man, you tripping. He said, brother, what do you know about symbolism? Symbolism is real. It's all around you. It's just that you don't know what it is, right? You don't know what it is because you don't have a trained mind or a trained eye. It's probably in your country as well. We up like probably about 7, 8 o'clock, something like that, just talking. Me, him, Zaza Ali. Zaza Ali is a very, very beautiful woman. When she looks at you, she stares at you very intently. She has a piercing stare where she's looking directly through you. Griff, Professor Griff always say, do you follow me? Do you follow me? Do you follow me? Do you follow me? You know what I mean? Very, very sharp brother. And then when I went back and listened to some of the old music that Professor Griff talked about, him and Chuck D and Public Enemy, I appreciated a lot of stuff that they were saying, even though I didn't agree with everything that they said at the time, and I still don't agree with everything they said. But I started doing some research after I thought he was tripping. I'm trying to find this picture of me and Griff. And I went to looking at award show. He said, look at some award shows if you think I'm lying. I saw Beyonce on stage. And he started talking to me about rituals. Watch this certain, when she did, this what this is, brother. And he went to showing me stuff. This is what she's doing. This is the Baphomet. This is what, do you know what this means and this and that? This is what they're doing. When I started seeing certain things, like Obama was sitting down talking and he had his hands sitting down like this here. Kind of like what Trump do. Trump do this too. Then when he talks, he does all this stuff here and yada, 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 yada. But then I started to see, damn, George Bush doing the same shit. Damn, Jimmy Carter did the same shit. Damn, Nixon did the same thing. Damn. J. Edgar Hoover, his gay ass. Damn. Is this a coincidence? Why all of them are doing it? You know what I mean? And I just started to ask questions, Con, and I started doing some research, and I just started doing a whole bunch of damn reading and research. And I was in denial. I'm not gonna lie, I was in denial. This man Griff right here. This man Professor Griff right here. You can't see it, but it's on my Instagram page. You can't see it. It's me and Professor Griff at I picked him up from the airport, him and Zaza Ali, and I haven't talked to him in a while. But it's a lot of stuff that he was showing me and teaching me, and I thought he was crazy. Come to find out he wasn't crazy. Hey, Con, come to find out he wasn't crazy. Con, what to say, family? Say, but WikiLeaks is out there disclosing CIA cyber tools. I don't even know, fam. I don't even know. I don't know what WikiLeaks is doing, to be honest with you. I don't know. Con, what to say, family? Say, I know quite a bit about CIA programs and turning investigations into domestic wiretapping, influencing public opinion and law enforcement. Okay. Shane, what did you say all of them are Masonic? Yeah, pretty much. Lady saying, so on the dollar bill, the all-seeing eye, the pyramid, etc., etc. Yeah. You say it's global. It's global. This one world government stuff they be talking about, yeah. Pretty much all these people on the same page. You say it's crazy because I remember in the early 2000s, all the conspiracy videos talking about Disney with the subliminal, and now look at the overt messages in the movies and the TV shows. Yeah, Disney, they're openly promoting pedophilia to the children. You get what I'm saying? They're openly doing it. He said MJ would set up facts. Even Aaron Carter said it on an interview, and they stay over as a kid. I don't know, fam. I don't know. I don't know if MJ was set up or not. All I know is he was brought up on criminal charges. He went to trial and he beat it. That's what I know. I wasn't there, so I can't say, what he did personally. I don't know. He was never convicted of anything. He said, look at a lot of Jay-Z vids, a lot of Baphomet in their vids. You got to spot them. Yeah, if you don't see Shan was in the music industry herself, so there's a lot of stuff that goes on that if you don't have a trained eye or a trained ear, you won't even peep it. You'll watch a video award show And you'll see Lady Gaga. Go look at some old Lady Gaga rituals on stage. I call them rituals because that's what Professor Griff taught me. These are rituals, brother. You think it's just a regular dance performance? No, these are rituals. Why you think she's doing this? Got the hair covered the eye, and why they got this red stuff going on in the back? Like, I ain't gonna lie. If you meet Professor Griff, bro, you'll be like, bro, he'll have you mesmerized. But what I like about Griff will show you receipts. Brother, go get this book right here. Brother, go get that book right there. Brother, go get this book right here about Masonry. Brother, go get this book right here about the Illuminati when it first started. Brother, go get this book right here about the CIA. Go get this book right here about go get this book about the music industry and how they was in partnership with the CIA here in America. Go get, and why do you think that, like, bro, like some of the stuff he was saying, I thought he was crazy. I said, man, this nigga done went, man, let me get around there. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what I said. Man, let me get around this nigga, man. This nigga done went cool with Cocoa Puffs, man. That nigga, man, you know, man, Griff, you tripping. That's what I told him. Guess what? He was right. From my research, he was right. Professor Griff was right. In America, we picked up self-destructive behaviors through our culture. The culture is a culture of death. And we are our own worst enemies, and we have been manipulated and don't even realize it. But we have been our own worst enemies before we even came over here. And just like we are our own worst enemies now. So, me not playing the victim, I don't believe that victim bullshit. It's like now that I know better, I know what I know. I'm pretty much, I know what I know, so. And I know that most people who I know, even my family members, they're not like me, and they will never accept anyone like me to that degree. And I used to be them. I used to be just like them. But for some, I just woke up, dog. Like after 25 years of being a zombie, I woke up. And I've been reading for a long time, but 6 years ago, it was like something happened to me. I can't explain it. All I know is I attract like-minded individuals like me that I can have conversations with. Most people that I know, I can't talk to them. I have to come down to their level to talk to them. I got to come down to their level to talk to them. They can't come where I'm at. I have to come down here to where they're at. And I have to talk the nigga talk to them. Yeah, what up, dog? What's happening, baby boy? Yeah, man, you feel me? You know what I'm talking about? Yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? What's up? You got some good green over there? Yeah, man, we're going to get that, dog. I got to talk to them like that because the level that I'm on, they can't come up there. They can't come up there. He said, got a book of Masonic, but ain't read it yet. Got a few books I ain't read yet. Want to read that book, Behold a Pair of Horses. Yeah, I read that book a while ago, Behold a Pair of Horses. That was one of the first books I've read. When I was in Nation Islam, that book came highly recommended. Behold a Pair of Horses by Minister Farrakhan. I mean, he didn't write that book, but I'm just saying. Behold a Pair of Horses. That was one of the first books I've read. The first book I read from front to back was the autobiography of Malcolm X. What did he say? Yep, Coach, Zaza Ali is beautiful. I agree with the symbolism in the act and the fact that they are members of fraternities and sororities, yeah. Zaza Ali is a sharp sister. She's a sharp sister. Very sharp sister. Zaza's about, what, she's probably in her 40s now. I remember that skit in Apocalypse 1991. You're talking about, you talking about Tupac album when he had the KKK thanking niggas for killing each other and helping their cause. Yeah. You ain't gotta worry about no Klan or none of that shit there. You go ahead and do it. Do your thing, baby boy. They said Hitler and the Nazi Party used to use technology to create a psychological foothold on the public. Khan, you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you, brother. I don't know a whole lot about the methods that Hitler and the Nazi Party used. I do know that there's a, like you probably know a little bit more in that field than I do. I knew Hitler was a very, very good orator. He's a very, very good speaker. And he knew how to motivate people just with his words. And you see a lot of that now. You get what I'm saying? And Hitler was, I'll say this. Has anybody ever found the body of Hitler? A lot of the German scientists, once Germany had fallen, a lot of the German scientists came to America, and then some went to Russia. There's rumored that, hey, because the Russians were the one, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Russians were the one that say they found Hitler in the bunker and they killed him, but no one ever seen the body. There was no body of Hitler anywhere. It's rumored that they allowed Hitler to escape through a submarine and he went to some other country and lived the rest of his life on old age. I don't know. I see a lot of stuff out there now. I watched Beyonce, Glastonbury 2011, I think. And guess what stage she was on? The pyramid stage. Okay. Hey, what year? Oh, you say 2011. 2011. Okay. Jay-Z, Rihanna, Kanye West had his song. The vid was fire. And they flickering Baphomet in it. Yeah. He said, what's real and what's fake? Hey, listen. The movie The Matrix, Knockdown 305. The movie The Matrix is so spot on, especially now. When I watch it now, I'm like, bro, they was dropping so much game in that movie, dog. Bro, they was dropping so much game in that movie. The Matrix and what the other movie I said? What other movie I said? Oh yeah, The Matrix and the Underworld. The Matrix and the Underworld. But especially The Matrix. That movie there, bro. Oh man, it's one thing, you know what I learned? This is what I learned. It's one thing to watch a movie. It's another thing to study a movie. It's one thing to watch a TV show, but it's another thing to study the TV show. There's always messages in everything that you listen to or watch. Nothing is never by chance. Oh, we just put this up here and it looked like that, but that don't mean that. That's just something they threw up there. No. Everything is done in society with a purpose. What do you say? No, that's on Public Enemy Apocalypse. 1990. Oh yeah, you talking about The Enemy Strikes Back. Yeah, that was they came out with their first album, Bum Rush the Show. Then they came out to Take a Nation of Millions and hold us back. Then they came out with was that the Burn Hollywood Burn album? Or was that the album that they had, Can't Trust It? Which album that was, sis? Burn Hollywood Burn album. That single that had Burn Hollywood Burn. Was that the Apocalypse 91? Oh, you know what? No. The Apocalypse 91 was the one that had, By the Time I Get to Arizona, Can't Trust It, Shut 'Em Down. Was that the album there? Was that album on Food Revolution? Hey, what is it? Hey, the one Mr. Happy say amen to that, coach. You will criticize a movie the same way when you study a movie. Yeah. You got to study it. Like, when I watch stuff, I just study it now. I be like, hey, the one Mr. Ham. I be like Brian Custer Interesting. Hey, I'd be like, interesting. He said there's a bunch of books written by the big German settlement in South America right after World War II. There's a whole area in Brazil they claim belonged to escaped Nazis who were helped to escape. Hey, Con Shottery, I didn't know. Thank you for telling me that, because I remember hearing that, right? But you know, they never showed a body of Hitler. Like, how do we know Hitler got killed? We saw what Mussolini, we saw when Mussolini got killed. They hung his body up and stuff like that. If that was his body, I don't know. They show where, that's, oh man, bro, like, and you know what, man, I be questioning a lot of stuff now, dog. Like, I just question a lot of stuff now. Like, you know what I mean? He said, have you seen The Wolf of Wall Street? Yeah, The Wolf of Wall Street, yeah. I mean, I actually heard the story from the actual guy. Not the movie, but the actual guy. Cool, boy, what did he say? He said, I was high watching Matrix Reloaded. The second one was the best. Hey, you know what? Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, Shut 'Em Down. Okay, yeah, that was one of my favorite albums. Shut 'Em Down, yeah. Shut 'Em Down. By the time I get to Arizona, Can't Trust It. What I like about it, that video, Public Enemy was one of the main reasons why I joined the Nation of Islam. The music influenced me so much that I wanted to join the Nation of Islam. Because I remember I used to hear Chuck D say, Farrakhan's a prophet, and I know you ought to listen to, what did they say to you? What you ought to do is follow for now. Power of the people say, make a miracle of the lyrical. Black is back, all in, we're gonna win, check it out. So, like, this was in the 80s. Like, Public Enemy Chuck D was one of the main reasons why I joined the Nation of Islam. Then they had the Black 5% of movement around that time. You're talking about the 80s, Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, Public Enemy, you know, a lot of those guys, the guys of Earth and Moon. It was just that big X-Clan. It's just that big movement that went on back then. That shit got phased out by gangster rap. You know what, man? I be questioning a lot of stuff now, dog. Like, I don't really know what's real. You know, he said there's no evidence of Hitler's dead body anywhere. Exactly. You get, like, dog, like, they showed us Saddam Hussein allegedly getting hung, but they had a hood on his head. Maybe he got hung. I don't know. It just, bro, like, did JFK really get killed? Like, bro, like, you know, I'm gonna tell you, Conshana, I'm gonna tell you the curse of being very knowledgeable and conscious. You know, the curse of it is, you know too much shit. And you question everything. Like with me, I question everything. I be like, you know what, man? And I be asking key questions too, like, where's his body at? So he got killed? He did? Okay. Who was there? Okay. How did JFK get killed? And then I went to listen to some old speeches of JFK. I'm like, oh, okay. John F. Kennedy got killed. Abraham Lincoln got killed. What message did they say that was similar? Or what? Not only that, what were they doing that justified them getting killed by a higher power? See, this is how I knew they killed JFK in 1963. This is how I knew. I said, you know what? It doesn't matter who the president of the United States is. The president is just a figurehead. He doesn't run anything. Vladimir Putin said something, right, in an interview a few years ago. This when President Trump was president. And the interviewer asked him, he said, this is a true story. He said, I wouldn't put anything past the governments. Look at what they did to Fred Hampton. The FBI hired an informant, William O'Neill, to provide them with what they needed to orchestrate his murder. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, sir. He said, knock down 3 or 5, said on purpose, coach. Check this out. He said, they said, what do you think about President Trump? He has a lot of ideas. He said, yes, Trump has a lot of ideas. He seems like he's a really good guy. He say most presidents, when they come in, he say this is how the politics works in America. He said if a president is selected, chosen by, in America, presidents are not just picked, voted for by the people. There's a committee called, all of these people share the same kind of bloodline somewhere, form, or fashion, right? There's a committee called something of current affairs or something like that in America. I forgot what it's called. It's like a secret society where all of the affluent political people who may, because of their bloodline connected to another president or whatever, they're groomed to later on in life to become a president or whatever, right? Barack Obama, remember, he's a biracial person. So Barack Obama grew up around white folks. His white grandmother, his mother, and white grandparents raised him. But that's neither here nor there. I forgot the name of I'll think of it later. But Vladimir Putin said, yes, he has a lot of ideas. He said, but what happens is 2 men come to the White House with the briefcase. And they say, hey, this is how things are going to go here. And they show that to that president, and that's what that president does. School or X-Man, he said, coach, you think like me. He said, no, not the COINTELPRO, not the COINTELPRO. It's like something affairs. I forgot what it's called. But he say the president gets elected. Well, they get selected first. They get selected. You're going to be the next president. This is why I tell you, the Democrats and Republicans on the same team. They fight this war in front of us on TV. We don't like this guy. We don't like them. The Democrats are this. The Republicans are that. The Republicans are this. The Democrats are that. They fight on camera. So it appears. But then when the cameras go off and they go behind the doors, boy, that was a good one there, Nancy Pelosi, boy, god damn, boy. Nancy, I like what you did, Nancy. Nancy, that was very hilarious. Yeah, now they wanted Trump out of there for real, though. Trump was the anti-establishment guy. They really wanted him out. And they got him out of there. They got him out of there. Joe Biden is that. It is what it is. I'm not going to say more on that. But always look at a person's policies. What they do is, when the guy gets selected first, and then he appears to be elected, because we don't count the votes, once he get in that office, he's going to have to do what he's told to do by the people who control this country. I don't know who those people are, what they look like. I mean, I do know that America pretty much is a British colony for the most part. Their policies tell me that. I look at each president's policies tell me that. And then I look at what Britain's policies is. Well, damn, how come these policies are very similar to another country's policies? Oh, god dang. Oh, that's what it is. How come the American banking system, but the major banks that control the banking system of America are out of London? Oh. So I start asking all these questions, right? Oh, damn, snap. Then I may smoke some weed, sit back. And when you smoke weed, it's worse. Because you be in deep thought when you be on weed. I be like, damn. I be in triple dark. I be in triple dark. I be like, we went in the depths of my mind, just thinking about what I read, just pondering. And then when I watch a presidential speech, whether it's the president of the United States, whether it's the what was Tony Blair? What was Tony Blair in the UK, guys? What was Tony Blair? Saying, what was Tony Blair over there in the UK? Because they're all one policy. It's called one order. Yeah. You're right, Shan. What is Tony Blair? What was Tony Blair called? What was his title? What was Tony Blair? Oh, the Prime Minister. Prime Minister. Oh, now it makes sense. All of them on the same team. Shan. I say, oh, all of them on the same team. That's why he hugged up with this one. That's why all the politicians over here hate this one guy. This is why the media outlets, the FBI, the CIA, they got a dismersification program against this one guy. And they convince everybody or a good portion in this country to hate this one guy. This was the one guy that went against the program. He didn't go along with the program. He's lucky he's still alive. Because John F. Kennedy didn't get going on with the program. He got a bullet in his head. Abraham Lincoln got a bullet in his head. Bobby Kennedy got a bullet, got killed. Oh, everybody on the same team. That's what it is. Let's look at the policies. Because over here in America, blacks don't look at policies. They just vote blindly, like they're programmed to do. Oh, that's why this, oh, damn, it's starting to make sense. And I started asking questions and I started doing reading, started doing studying. And then now when I look at stuff, I don't see it the same anymore. It's one thing about it, right? Once you come out of once you wake up from your sleeping slumber, you can never unprogram yourself. What I mean by that is, once you, let's say you program, right? Once you snap out of that program mind state, you can never say, oh man, it's too much, let me go back to sleep. You can never do that. Once you wake up, you can never go back to sleep. Never. Once you wake up. And there's no such thing as coincidences. What if you learned that the guy who you was taught to hate was the good guy and the guy that you was taught to love was the bad guy? How would you handle that? You say, Coach, watch a documentary called Spider's Web. Spider's Web, I'm going to check that out. I haven't seen it, Tony Kelly. I'm going to check it out, though. You know me, I'm always down to learn something. You was taught to hate Saddam Hussein. You're taught to hate China. You're taught to hate Vladimir Putin, Russia. You're taught to hate Trump. You're taught to hate whatever they tell you to hate. What if the guy that you hated was the good guy and the people who told you to hate them were the bad guys? How would you be able to handle that? What is called the spider's web? I'm going to check it out. You will know, because when you see everybody on one side saying the exact same thing, hate this guy, hate Saddam, hate China, hate Vladimir Putin, he's a bad guy, he's a bad guy, he's a bad guy. And then I look at your policies, I say, damn, dog, you got military bases all over the world. You got military, you got a military base in the Ukraine. You got bases all throughout the planet. As a matter of fact, America, you have more military bases than anybody on the planet. As a matter of fact, you went to war with more countries than anybody. All you do is go around the world And you bomb other people's countries, you kill their presidents, you send the CIA through there. If you don't bomb them like that, and you'll have them assassinated, you'll have stuff called the color revolutions, where people rise up in their countries and they overthrow you'll overthrow their governments, and then you will establish a puppet government in there that you can control to do what you want them to do. The United States of America is probably one of the most, the United States and Britain. The United States and Britain. There's some evil motherfuckers there, boy. The British Empire. They called it the British Empire for a reason. You know, a lot of people in the UK, they cried about the Queen passing away and stuff like that. I didn't shed no tear for her. I know too much. If I don't shed a tear for a president in my own country, you know goddamn well I'm not going to shed a tear for a queen in another goddamn country. I'm not saying that the people over there shouldn't. Y'all cry out for your queen. She's not my queen. I don't have an emotional attachment to her. Matter of fact, I don't give a fuck about the royal family myself. Just like I don't give a fuck about George Bush. I don't give a fuck about the Democrat Party or the Republican Party. So if I don't give a fuck about the leaders in my country, I damn sure don't give a fuck about the leaders in someone else's country. I'm consistent. I know these some evil, diabolical mofos. I know they some evil, diabolical mofos. I know what I know. I ain't trying to convince nobody of nothing. I know I am in the minority, and I know that people gonna look at me like I'm crazy, and that's fine. I ain't got no problem with that. That's fine. Jamario, what's going on, fam? Hey, Carl, what'd you say? He said, I love the idea of questioning everything. Don't take things face value. That's a good policy. Exactly. Exactly, Carl. Hey, Carl, question everything. Question everything. Question everything. What to say? You say, as much as it has its flaws, I started studying Dr. Malachi Z. Yeah, Dr. Malachi, he used to be in the Nation of Islam as well. He used to be in the Nation of Islam. Clarence 13X used to be in the Nation of Islam. They left and started their own organizations. Malachi York is in prison right now. And I opened my eyes for the past 2 decades, New Wapians, yeah. Yeah. I know most of my knowledge because of this. I was on the right knowledge very young. Yeah, Malachi York is he's in prison. He's pleaded guilty to, I think he molested a whole bunch of children on this compound or something like that. Khan, what the say family say they invade and set up camp to gain control over resources in poor countries. It's all control power games, yeah. Yeah, we're taught to hate China, hate Vladimir Putin. He say that's one reason why Mexican Americans rep Mexico so much. Mexico's defense, not offense. Defensive, not offense. He said, "What's the topic for the night, Coach?" Yeah, the topic is over with. We went all over the world with this. Are black people our own worst enemy? I dropped some. Is tribalism destroying the Black Americans? I dropped some books that you can check out as it relates to that subject matter. Blacks have always been each other's worst enemy. We've always sold each other out. We've always abandoned our women. We always abandoned our children. We always killed each other. We always done this. This is way before Europeans even got involved in the slave trade and all this stuff. The sub-Saharan slave trade for 14 centuries. Just a whole lot of shit. We've always done this. Lady Shan said, I didn't cry, but I saw the queen. But I saw the queen to try to change. Her history was tragic. But what I saw her attempt to do was pleasing. But hey, it's hard to describe. I mean, that's your queen. I get it. That's your queen. Ain't nothing wrong with that shit. That's your queen. You know what I mean? But I just, just me, what I know, and And again, even with these African countries were diabolical to their own people. Knockdown 305. He said we know about the problem. What's the solutions? There is no solution, Knockdown 305. Unfortunately, my brother. There is no solutions. What did he say? You said, but I saw the queen try to change. Her history was tragic, but I saw her attempt to do was pleasing. But hey, it's hard to describe when you know what you know, but live in it as your country culture. Yeah. Yeah, I got you, Shan. I got you. There is no solution, brother. There is no solution. L Society, what you say? You say Trump 2024, not fanboy for a president, but I'm a fanboy for my kids' future country. Oh, Trump ain't gonna be president in 2024. They're gonna kill Trump. Trump will have a bullet in his head before they let that happen. Trump has the CIA, the FBI, the British intelligence, and a lot of other people against him. Powerful enemies. I remember a speech he gave a few years ago before he got removed from office. I'll just say that. He said, I have a lot of powerful enemies. Y'all might not see me for a while. I remember that speech. He got powerful enemies. They're not going to let him back in there. They're not going to let him back in there. If Joe Biden don't get reelected, they'll probably have another Democrat. Because the Democrat Party is the dominant party in America. So it seems like that movement has been taken over by the progressives. So who knows, man? Who knows? Yeah, Trump will get a bullet in his head. You ain't got to worry about him becoming no president. And I'm not wishing that on him. I'm just saying they're not gonna let him go and get it back in there. She had a massive responsibility to take on at the age of 26. The queen had no choice, and there's a sadness involved with that tradition. Yeah. You say those diamonds they rock on her crown, in her crowns, and the crown jewels are all stolen from Africa. Yeah. The Africans did it to themselves for the most part. People are the solution. We have the power. They need us. Yeah. I never see it in my lifetime. It's I already know because the elite want them dead just like JFK. Yeah. Would you say, old Sleepy Joe, the perfect puppet? Yes, he is. Joe's the perfect puppet. Don't tell other people that that'll hurt their feelings. They love Joe Biden. He said, Coach, what country sell people's actual hearts from their body for money on the black market? I have no idea. I have no idea, brother. He said, we built this country, not one man or woman. Say African Americans will have to leave this country to escape this cursed lifestyle and mindset. Leave and go where? Leave this country and go where? You see. Hey, Jamari, what did you say? You say off subject, but I started reading The Richest Man in Babylon. Yeah, I'm gonna read it again. I read it twice already. I'm gonna read it again. I have some more books I gotta read. I try to read. Let me show you this. Let me show you this book. Like me, because I be on social media a lot, guys. I try to read a lot about like what's going on today, like from a financial standpoint, technological standpoint. I try to see how can I use the matrix to take care of me, take care of myself and my family. That's what I try to do now. There's a lot I know, but I know if I try to reveal, teach, go against the grain on social media, I know what'll happen to me. I mean, I ain't saying physically, but I know, they'll cancel me like they doing all these other guys who are not a part of the establishment. So what I try to do is I say, well, there have been people greater than me that came before me that tried to wake the people up, that tried to go against the grain, and they got killed, and the people kept moving on like it was nothing. So it let me know that, hey, if I try to do the same thing that those before me came, it's going to be the same result. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep my mouth closed, know what I know, teach those who are close to me, don't say a whole lot on the social media platforms, because I know they're listening to us right now as we speak. And they might have all this stuff connected to a database with the FBI or the CIA. Who knows? You get what I'm saying? But I know that there's nothing I'm going to do to change anything. I know this. I know more than likely I'm going to die. If I'm lucky, I might have another 35 years left. I know when I kick the bucket, it's going to be over. And this same shit is still going to be here. I know there's no God coming out of the sky to save anybody. You know, it is what it is. I don't know what's going to happen, what the solution is. I don't know. I don't know the answer. What I do know, I just know what it is right now. And I know there are ways to maneuver in life today. There are ways to maneuver so you don't get caught up in it, get too caught up in it. But you get what I'm saying? It's I know that my government in America is my biggest enemy. I know that much. I know the political power that's here now is my biggest enemy. I know that much. I know the uni-party system in America, they're on the same team. I know that much. So since I know that, what I try to do is let me figure out a way to use what's going on to my advantage. Let me figure out a way to maneuver through it. Let me teach my children so they don't be as blind as I was when I was their age when they get older. Look, this is how you maneuver through this. This is what it is. This is the matrix. You got to be Neo. You got to be Morpheus. You got to be the Oracle. Most people you meet, they're going to be sheep. They're not going to know what you know. Lady Shan saying, do you vote, Mal? Nah, I don't vote. I don't vote. But I tell you what I will do. I look at a candidate, and I learned this from Dr. Claude Anderson. Politicians are nothing but tools that can be bought. I participate in local elections, like my city, my demographics, my county commissioners, school board representatives, the mayor, whatever the case may be. Well, this is what I do, Shan. I look at the Democrat, I look at the Republican. I say, what policies are you running on? What policies are you running on? Okay, cool. One thing I know, I'm gonna tell you something about America. You don't see Asians marching, protesting in the street. Yeah, I'm talking about the masses. You don't even see a lot of the Hispanic community. Well, maybe the ones that's been Americanized, you'll see some of them, but yeah, we got to get, or the Jewish community. Yeah, we got to go vote and get behind this, such and such, and yada, 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 yada. Like the average white and black Americans. I'm going to tell you why. Dr. Claude Anderson said something very, very sweet. He said, I understand politics now a lot more. Politicians are there to be bought. You ever heard, I don't know if they have this in the UK, but in America, they have something called lobbyists. Lobbyists are the ones who have the money who back certain candidates. The lobbyists say this, look here, Shan, you running for the governor of the state of Florida. I have a super PAC over here of donors. Oh, I can deliver you 30, 40,000 votes. These are people who I know. I'm an influencer. These people follow anything I tell them to do. I'm an influencer. I have some policies that I need you to promise that you're going to push for or pass or do if we get behind you. If we get behind you for you to get elected. Not only that, we have $100,000 that we're willing to donate to your campaign, but this is what we're going to need you to pledge. And I have a whole lot more than that. Where that come from? If you're not willing to do this for us or for me or whatever the case may be with my money and everything, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this same proposition to your candidate, to your opposition, Democrat. I'm going to go to the Republican and say, hey, look, this is what I need you to do. Man, I'm trying to get some certain things zoned in the city. There's certain buildings I want to buy, but I can't get it because of certain laws on there. I need you to be able to do this. I'm going to back you. Now, I went to the such and such. You know what I mean? He said no or yeah, whatever the case may be. I want to know, are you willing to do this? Whoever that I can buy and control with my dollar, that's who I'm going to get behind. That's how politics works in America. That's how politics works in America. You can vote all you goddamn want. They're going to go, this is why when you vote for someone, and then when they get in office, they do the total opposite of what you voted for them for, and your condition doesn't change in your community. Black Americans don't get that. You don't see the Jews marching down the street with picket signs and all that stuff. They're the Asians. They don't do that. They know the game. We just going to control the politician. We just going to control the politician. Once I understood that, I know that the vote don't mean shit. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it don't mean anything. I know that people do vote and they count the votes and whoever get the most votes. I'm not saying that, but the vote do mean something, Cheyenne, but I started to ask, who are these people that they call lobbyists? What do lobbyists do? Lobbyists are the ones who control the politician. If you look at, that's why I said you have to look at the policies. If you look at the policies of the governor, of the president, or whatever the case may be, the question that I learned to ask myself is, who are the lobbyists? Who are the donors to this person's campaign? And then when I look at who the donors was to this person's campaign, I said, what were the policies what were the things that these people who donated to this guy, what were their policies that they ran on, or what do they run on? Did it line up with the people who is his policies line up with the lobbyists? And if I see what the people who are lobbying, what they was asking this guy to do, and then I say, oh, this president, this governor, this mayor policies are very similar to the request that these lobbyists that formed a super PAC who donated all this money to him, his policies are the exact same thing as the demands that they were requesting from him. So that let me know that these guys control this guy. That's how it works here. That's how it works here. And the guy that doesn't do what they want him to do in America, they put a bullet in his head. They put a bullet in his head. Or they vehemently come against him like they did Trump. The media, the CIA, the FBI, the M15 from the British intelligence, Ukrainian intelligence, Russian intelligence, everybody. We got to get this motherfucker out of here. We can kill him, but we got to get him out. We got to find a way to get him out of here. We're going to get him out of here. We're going to put together this smurchification program so hard. And even when they leave office, we're going to invade. We're going to go to his house and all that. We're going to do everything to him. Try to bring him up on charges, all this stuff. That's the game. That's what they do over here. The game dirt over here, boy. The game dirt over here. He said it works the exact same way on YouTube. Yeah, pretty much. So what I do is I watch what they say. Whoever they tell me is the bad person, And who I supposed to listen to, who I supposed to hate, that's the person I love. Whoever they tell me is the good person, and that's the one I supposed to like and we supposed to get behind, that's the one I hate. Because I'm going to do research on both of them. And I know that the American government is probably one of the most wicked governments on the planet next to the British government. The British government controls America. America is nothing but a colony of the British. America invades other countries, set up military bases everywhere. The regime change, kill other people's presidents. They bomb them. They do whatever. This is what they do. This is the same country that invaded Iraq under George Bush and Dick Cheney, evil ass. They got weapons of mass destruction. You lied. You killed their presidents, bombed their women and children, took over their countries, their resources. This is what America does. The British Empire. So I ain't got no sympathy. I ain't got no sympathy for none of them, to be honest with you. The day I shed a tear for a president, king, or queen, will be the day of the rain, cocaine, and snow heroin, 8:30 tomorrow morning. I know too much, and I can't say, I can't really get too much into it. So I can start, on this channel, I can start doing that stuff, but I'm not. It just, I know the outcome is going to be. I already know the outcome is going to be, so. It is what it is. What you say, Lady Shan? You say it's the same here, Mal. The prime minister is just a receptionist. The people who fund the prime minister, who remain faceless, run the country. That is true. That is true, Shan. That's who run the country. That's who run the country. That's who run the country. And they control everything. They control everything. Jamario say, don't say too much, coach. We need y'all here with us. I might get a phone call from YouTube. Hello. Yeah, you this YouTube. Yeah, what's up, YouTube? Yeah, man, check this out, nigga. You've been saying a little bit too much, boy. We need you to say the right things. We need you to get online and say that you love Joe Biden, and say that you love the Democrat Party, and say that you love Mitch McConnell, the other Republican Party. We need you to say all of these things, and we need you to get on code with this message, boy. You hear us? Yeah. We need you to take back what you said about George Bush. Yeah. We need you to take back what you said about Obama. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna keep my mouth closed. Let's keep my mouth. I'm gonna give everybody a round of applause, man. He say, Coach, are you going live this Saturday for Joe Joyce and Parker? I'm going live probably Friday. I might go live Saturday. I don't know yet. I ain't gonna lie, dog. It's a lot. It's a lot, bro. Like, it's a lot, bro. Like, like I'm sleeping now. You can see it in my eyes. It's a lot, bro. Like, cause I go live every day for the boxing, and I need a break. So one day out of the week, I try to get a break from the computer. I decide not to look at no computer screen, none of that. You know what I mean? So if Lady Shan go live for the fight, I'll probably join her live. I'll probably join her live and be in the chat. I'm going to go live Friday. I'm going to go live Friday night for Shakur Stevenson fight. Saturday, I'm going to just, Shan, if you go live, I'll just jump on, I'll be in your chat. Just be typing in the chat. I'm not gonna do both. I can't do both. I'm gonna do Shakur Stevenson Friday, and that's gonna be it. I can't do both, brother. I can't do both. Shan, what did it say? You say you do Friday, I do Saturday. Okay, cool. Shan, I know it's late over there. Damn, it's 3 o'clock in the UK. It's 3:42 in the UK. Shout out to Ben Adams. Shout out to Lady Shan. Salute to Goozy. Shout out to Al the Pal. Shout out to my brother Ahmed. Shout out to Tony Kelly and the boys. Hey man, you know what? That's a good name, Tony. I know you got Tony Kelly, but Tony Kelly and the Boys, that'd be a good. It reminds me of Herman Kelly. Herman Kelly and the Boys. Was Herman Kelly? Herman Kelly made Let's Dance to the Drummer's Beat. Let's dance. Yeah, that was Herman Kelly. Yeah. I forgot. Herman Kelly and I forgot the name of his group. Shout out to Jamario Dixon. Shout out to Knockdown 305, Dade County's finest. Shout out to Boston Logic United. Shout out to Al the Pal. Shout out to Carmen Serene, she came through. Shout out to Bless 365, she came through. Shout out to Little Green Eyes Peach, she came through. Shout out to Food Revolution, my sister. LA, stand up. Yay. She came through. Shout out to Jamario Dixon. Kene, shout out to my brother Kene, man. My brother Kene. Shout out to Lisa Bales, Newark, New Jersey's finest. Yeah, she say Ghana has welcomed a lot of Black Americans. Yeah, they apologize for their role in slavery and stuff like that. Too goddamn late now, but you know, we here now. Shout out to El Unico. Shout out to who else we got here? Jason Williams, Con Shonery. I think that's it. Shout out to everybody, man. Salute, man. It is what it is. You know, I can't have these conversations on the boxing show. I probably can, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. Shout out to my sister Lisa Bells, man. Shout out to everybody. Once again, this song, man. It's about Coach Malachi Williams signing out. I will be I'll jump on saying I'll be in the chat when she go live for Joe George. I'm going for the Juggernaut. Oh yeah, shout out to School of X-Men. Shout out to School of X-Men. And y'all look at them books, man. Y'all buy them books from Amazon, man. Do your own research. Always do your own research, fam. Do your own research. Don't believe nothing I say. Don't believe nothing no one says. Do your own research and then come to your own conclusion. That's the best advice I can give anybody. Other than that, man, that's it. You said you're on the money. He said you're on the money with that one. Okay, well, Sharon, you talking about Sharon? Once again, this song is that boy Coach Malachi Williams signing out. Midnight Conversations, where expectations meet reality. I want to talk about some money next time. Shout out to Arlette. Arlette was here as well. Other than that, that's it, man. I'm going to holler at y'all, man. It's over.